Hello, 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 and welcome to Facebook Live with Sarah. That was fun. And so is this epic little tropical jungle filter. So good. Hello and welcome. So I felt the urgent pull to pop on Facebook Live and share why I believe that is absolutely critical for all of us to be using essential oils today. There has been coming to my attention a lot of this, and so I'm excited to share with you all. Whether you're watching this now or on the replay, if you have any questions as I'm talking just about essential oils or anything that I'm chatting about, just type them in the box and I'll do my best to answer them. So first of all, I guess I should probably touch on, for anybody who isn't familiar with essential oils, or is just marginally familiar with them, what is an essential oil, right? We've all seen these little bottles, or perhaps this is your first time seeing one. So this is a bottle of essential oils. And in plants, there are, if you've ever put your finger into an orange peel, you get that little like spritz that flies out, that little yummy smelling citrusy scent. Or if you've ever put an orange peel in water, you'll notice after a while there's a little oily film on top of the water. And that little spritz and that little oily film are the same exact thing. And what that is called is, it's called a volatile compound. And what a volatile compound is it is a compound in the plant that, like water, can evaporate, liquefy, and solidify at pretty rapid rates. So all plants have these volatile compounds, and the essential oils are essential. They're that volatile compound, which is the immune system of the plant. So essential oils are the immune systems of the plant. So if you think about what that means when working with essential oils, it's like working with the incredible, intelligent immune system that keeps the plant growing and thriving and surviving no matter what's going on. And so if we've got that potent, amazing, healing compound that we're working with, which is incredible. Like, we're working with the soul of the plant. How amazing is that? So essential oils, they are, to recap, they are the immune system of the plant. They are that compound in the plant that keeps it growing and thriving and looking beautiful. Like, let's see, how do I top this around? So these flowers right here, oh, that looks so pretty with this filter. Those flowers right there, there's a compound in all of that if we pressed it, just like if we pressed the orange peel, we get that little zest, or we get that little oil in those plants too, or in the needles of trees, or in flowers. There is that little oily immune system. So that's what essential oil is. So when we're working with essential oils, I like to think of them, they all have different little personalities. They're like little doctors and little friends that we can call on. And just like all of us in this world have different gifts, and we have a different doctor for our eyes, and we have a different doctor for our feet, and we have a different doctor for our bones, and we have a different doctor for our teeth, and we have a different doctor for our blood, and then we have just like those general doctors that kind of help a little bit of everything, or have a knowledge about a little bit of everything. The same is true for essential oils. All of them have, all of these plants. If you think about the plants themselves that the oils come from, all of the plants live in completely different environments, different growing conditions. They require different things to thrive. And so they all specialize in something different in terms of how they can help us. And I read a book a while ago when I was in school and I was considering going into food politics, which I still kind of consider sometimes, because the food industry, this is one of the reasons I think it's critical for all of us to be using essential oils, but that's not the main reason, which I will get to in a second. But so if you think about all of these plants grow in different environments, and thus they're going to have different wisdom instilled in them. That's going to help us in some way, right? They're going to have, with the soil that they're growing in, the environment that they're growing in, they're going to be able to give different nutrients to our body that they've absorbed through their own growing process. And then also I think there's an energetic spiritual component to essential oils as well, but you definitely don't need to believe in that for them to work at all. But so where was I at? So we were talking about they grow and they're all like different little doctors. So I just lost my train of thought, guys. So they're all like different little doctors, and they all specialize in something different. Right, so Michael Pollan wrote this book a while back called The Botany of Desire, and I just thought that was the most profound book. Oh my gosh, if you haven't read it, I definitely recommend reading it. It's called The Botany of Desire. It's by Michael Pollan, and what he posits in that book is that plants are evolving us. That the plant has like I think he uses hemp, the rose plant, apples, and marijuana. Those are the plants that he walks through the evolution of. And he basically just shows how the plant has learned what humans desired and evolved to fulfill that need. Like apples used to be very sour, but they evolved over time to become sweet, because when they were sweet, humans would pick them and eat them and plant more apple trees. And it's just really, really cool to take a look through that. And so when I started working with essential oils, that book popped back into my head. And I was thinking about that, and I was like, you know what? It's I think a similar, he's totally right. Plants are evolving us. Like they're using us to evolve themselves, but in the process evolving us. And so all of the oils that they have to share with us are helping us to heal and to create a more sustainable world. So that's a little more of the esoteric part of working with essential oils. But I'll give a really easy example of what I mean in terms of their growing conditions and how they grow. I think can really reflect back to us the capacity that they have to help us heal our physical bodies. So I was thinking about this the other day, the wintergreen oil. Wintergreen oil is incredible for bone health, for arthritis, and for if you've had like any sports injuries on your bones or anything of that nature. Wintergreen is incredibly soothing. If you have like tension headaches and all of that stuff that really just feels like your bones hurt, like bruised bones, all of that good stuff, wintergreen is incredible for that. I was thinking about the wintergreen tree. It grows and it gets snowed on a lot. And so those needles, they have to, and they still remain green, and they still keep growing, and they're just fine. So I was thinking about that. I was like, well, you know, wintergreen trees have learned how to thrive in really cold environments. And it makes sense that the wintergreen oil would help us when your bone hurts. It's essentially the warmth of life, the warmth and the soothing and the ease of your body's natural state has disappeared. It's become cold, right? And so the wintergreen tree is able to teach us, hey, you know, I've learned how to keep life going, stay warm all winter long in the snowy mountains. So let me help you bring some warmth back to your bones, back to your joints, back to your body. So cool, right? And so we should be so grateful to those beautiful wintergreen trees that graciously share their wisdom with us. So that's a little overview of my take on what essential oils are and how they help us. Obviously, there's a scientific chemical component, and I get more into that in my course, Essentially You, which if you would like to join, we are rolling, and I would love to have you. So you can email me or send me a message, and I can send you information about that. But so why it's critical for all of us to be using essential oils. I was living in Bali last year, and one of my really regular practices was to go and sit in the middle of this river. I had this secret little spot that I would go to with this rock that I sat on in the middle of this rushing river. And no matter what was going on in my life, just sitting there on that rock and being in the middle of that water rushing by, seeing like these lush trees. I wish they were purple and blue and pink like this filter. That would have been really cool. They were their own shades of beautiful. But sitting in like that, just that little cocoon of absolute serenity, so deeply connected to that nature. I just felt, no matter what was going on, I felt calm and I felt at ease, and I felt like, this might be really challenging and this might be really trying, but I know that there's a way through this because this river keeps flowing, and just like this river keeps flowing, I know I'll keep going. And so when I got back, one of my biggest requests from life, from creation, from the universe, whatever you want to call it, one of my biggest requests was, I really need a way that I can find that same sense of connection to the natural earth that I had when I was sitting on those rocks in the middle of the river. Because I'm sure if you've ever been for a hike, or you've gone to the park, or you've gone to the ocean, or on some sort of nature adventure, when you are submerged without technology, without anything, when you are just submerged in the natural world, you feel so much more serene, so much more grounded, so much more at ease. And it's just incredible what sort of things what sort of thoughts come to your mind in that space, how much clarity you can find in that space. It's amazing. And so, to get to my point, finally, why I think it is so critical for us to every single one of us, to be using essential oils in this modern day and age is because we are so disconnected, for the most part, at least in the United States, from the natural world, from the clarity, from the simplicity, from the serenity, from the patience, from the wisdom, from all that lives in that natural world. We're very disconnected from it in our very concrete, modern, technical lives. Most of us live in places where we are not spending a ton of time reconnecting to the natural earth. And if we are, a lot of the times that natural earth that we're connecting with is pretty urbanized. And so the reason, as we've gotten more modern, we've solved a lot of problems. We absolutely have, and I think that that's a beautiful gift that we've been able to unearth for ourselves. But we've also created a lot more problems. As we can see in our world right now, baby, we've got a lot going on. And a lot that's going on is really heavy on a lot of our hearts. And I know for a fact that these incredible sacred plants, these oils, are in our hands and available to us so that we don't have to erase the modern lives that we've created, because there is a lot of good about them. There's a lot of usefulness about the infrastructures that we've created and the systems that we've put in place and the technologies that we've developed. There is a lot of use in them, and that's beautiful that we've gotten to that place. However, this smells so good. This is one of my favorite blends, Balance from doTERRA. There's a lot of good in that infrastructure that we have created. However, we have to remain connected to the natural earth, because I think, as we've seen with these hurricanes and the volcanoes erupting and the earthquakes that are happening, we're tenants on this place called planet Earth. And we can get kicked out at any point in time if we're doing some shitty stuff. And we're going to do shitty stuff to the earth when we're not connected to the earth. We're going to do shitty stuff in our lives when we're not connected to the earth, when we're not connected to that wisdom, when we're not connected to that clarity, right? When we are not connected to that heart space. And I have been writing a lot lately in one of the books that I'm working on about how I think one of the main challenges that we're facing right now is that we have created all of this technology, all of this modern life, we've created a society at large where we don't ultimately have to listen anymore. We can just go through our lives on autopilot, and that's not okay, actually. It's nice that we've created that luxury for ourselves. However, it's disconnecting us. And I think that these little babes, these little miracle workers are coming into our lives to say, listen, we love that you've become so efficient. We love that you've created all of this, but you absolutely must remain connected to that place, this ground, this earth that is holding you up. You need to remain connected to that. And we're not saying that you have to destroy everything that you've created, because you don't. Again, it's useful, but you absolutely must honor where you've come from and where you will return. You absolutely must honor that. And so that is why we absolutely must be using essential oils. We must be diffusing them in our homes, and we must be using them on our bodies, because they reconnect us, like I said, to that sense of clarity and serenity and simplicity and that infinite wisdom that lives in the leaves and the roots and the dirt of the plants that has been around since before we were here. Life has been thriving in the plant-based world since before we were here, since before we were inhabiting the earth. So why on earth would we say no to using all of that clearing, healing, incredible wisdom in our lives? Why would we say no to that? Because what that's going to do is that's going to allow us to enrich what we've created. What we've created, like I said, is useful, but there's a lot of problems with it, right? And it's creating a lot of problems. It's creating something called global warming. It's creating all of these storms and all of these earthquakes and everything that's going on. The infrastructure that we've created is a part of that problem. And so I think, well, no, I don't think, I believe that as we start to incorporate these plants back into our lives, as we start to incorporate this immune system that has been going since before we were around, as we start to allow that to saturate our cells, we will naturally rebalance what we've created so that we are in a place of harmony and cohesion with the natural world. So that's why it is critical for us to be using essential oils right now. Yes, they heal our physical body, and that's amazing. But the reason we want our physical body to be healed is because we want to be living in harmony and cohesion with the world around us, so that we are in that space where we're always at the right place at the right time. We're always getting what we need when we need it. We're always able to show up and lend a helping hand where a helping hand is needed. And we're able to be and create that idyllic world that we're after. It's not going to be without challenge. Obviously, everything has challenge, right? The trees go through harsh winters and droughts and all of that. But again, they've got these incredible immune systems. They've got the essence of those plants. It keeps going. It knows intrinsically how to bloom again. It knows how to keep going. It knows how to sustain itself. And I don't think that we can create that sustainable reality without these oils. I don't think that's possible. And so I invite you to adopt an essential oil practice. And if you need advice and help on how to do that, please reach out. That's like what I'm here for. Because again, they are so incredibly useful. They are so incredibly necessary in our lives. And, I put together a little ebook called 3 Oils, 3 Ways. And it's just a really simple, easy introduction to essential oils and how you can start using them. I tend to take a very sacred approach to using them. I make them a part of my daily practice of reconnecting, a part of my daily practice of centering in, a part of my daily offering up of myself, of saying, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? Who would you have me meet? What would you have me say? I make them a part of that process. And every day I work with different oils based on, you know, what they're good for and what calls to me. And I teach about all of this weekly. I have an amazing little essential oil family, which if you are interested in learning more about all of this, if you are like, oh my God, you're so right, it is absolutely critical that we start using these. It's absolutely critical that we bring this ancient wisdom back into ourselves, that we flood ourselves with that which knows how to regenerate for eons and eons and eons. It's essential that we start using this again. Absolutely. I 100% agree. If that's you, then yeah, you need to join me. Start using these oils. So if you want information about that, leave me a comment or shoot me a message. We've got amazing group calls every week where we just talk about the oils, and I teach you how to use them. I teach you how to bring them into your life in a sacred way. And also, you know, if you have physical things that you're working with in your body that you need cleared out, like I have used them. I didn't have a period for like 5 years. That's crazy town that my hormones were so out of balance that happened, but it did. And so after a lot of work on myself and after a lot of work on myself and after doing a lot of research, I found, and I'd been using essential oils, I found, oh my gosh, okay, so there's this oil called clary sage, and it's supposed to help with women's health and women's hormones, so I'm going to start using it. And I shit you not, you guys, I started working with clary sage. I started using it on my body, diffusing it in the air, and like my moon cycle is completely back to normal, like completely regular. So they're not for nothing. And like I've used them to zap colds away. I used it to zap away like huge bug bites and wasp stings. And yeah, I'm so glad, so happy. I've used them for like my own mental grounding. I've lived in 34 places and counting, and I honestly, this balance blend is like the secret to my sanity. So I'm positive, I'm more than 100% positive that these plants are, they're here and they're begging us to let them come into our lives and help recalibrate to that space of harmony and cohesion. Help us recalibrate to make decisions that will ultimately lead to making it so that we aren't having these crazy hurricanes that are wiping out countries and millions of people having their lives affected. You know, it's just like we think that it has to be like big decisions that make radical change, but it's not. It's absolutely not. It's these small little choices, these small little commitments that we make to ourselves to saying, hey, okay, I know that there's some wisdom in here. I absolutely know that I acknowledge that the plants have been around forever. I acknowledge that they know how to regenerate life. And so I'm going to open myself up to learning from that knowledge, to letting that knowledge work on me and recalibrate myself. And when you do that, you start making small decisions that then add up over time, right? Like you don't get from where you're at to the grocery store just by snapping your fingers, like by thinking yourself there. Maybe if you're in Harry Potter and you can apparate that, you do that. That's amazing. I like bow to you and I would like you to teach me your ways. However, most of us have to walk step by step there. And so that's what these oils help us do. They, in the moment, they help recalibrate ourselves, recalibrate our physical body, our mental body, our emotional body, our spiritual body, to make choices that are aligned with getting us to that space of harmony and cohesion, get us to that space of being in alignment with that ancient wisdom that's available to us. And that plays itself out in each of our lives completely differently, right? Like for me, that plays itself out in opening up those creative channels in my brain that allow me to write what I'm here to write without all of that crazy mental bullshit chatter, you know? So, that was a lot, but that's why I think it's critical that every single one of us be using essential oils. So again, if you're curious about this, if you're like, how can I start using essential oils? Shoot me an email, shoot me a message, leave me a comment, let me know. We can set up a time to chat and see if, this is something that you definitely want to start doing in your life. I would love to guide you. I would love to just like have you join one of our weekly calls and see if it's something that you're interested in. Community is another big thing. If you look at the plants, like they don't just grow one. at a time. They grow in bunches. And that's what we're supposed to do. That's another thing that I think that these oils are calling us into is community, right? That's why they have guided us into this space of sharing in a community, sharing essential oils together and working with them together, because plants this isn't a solo adventure. This is like a community thing, and we can't thrive one little itty bitty plant in the middle of the dirt by itself. Thriving is when you see a whole bunch of lush plants together, and that's what it's about. So join my family, join my essential oil family, tribe, community support, because that's how we truly thrive, when we have people around us that are working toward that same goal of harmony and cohesion. And we need that now more than ever. We need hearts that are living from that place of groundedness. We need hearts that are living from that place of commitment to standing up for what they know to be true, living from that place of knowing that we can do better, and we will continue showing up each day to do better. And this is one of the ways that we can do better. We can replace all of our chemical home cleaning products with oils that work so much better and give so much more back to the earth, not just in how they filter through the water and go through that process, but also in the growing process that allows so many people to have such a better living standard because they're paid better, because this company doTERRA cares about that, and they are a profit sharing company. They share their profits with the people who grow their oils and the people who share their oils, and that's just friggin' beautiful. So I've got some emails to write, and I feel like I have talked your guys' ears off, but I love you so much, and I'm so grateful to you for giving me the time and the space to share all of this. I hope something landed on your heart and sparked some curiosity and some inspiration to go try something new, to go reconnect with the vast amazingness that is the natural world. Maybe go for a nature walk today, or watch the sunset, or stare up at the clouds and thank them for creating such a beautiful life for you. Anything, really. Tell a tree that it's your favorite tree. Hug it, even better. We've got some work to do, friends. So let's start or keep on doing it if you're already a part of it. I thank you so much for already being a part of it, and I thank you so much for your courage to starting it. So that's that. Have a beautiful life. You deserve it. Mwah. And again, any questions about joining this, email me, send me a comment. My email is sarah@sarahmiller.me if you would like to reach me there, or you can send me a Facebook message. That works as well. Share this with every single person that you know if you feel passionate about this message as well. If you're like, yeah, this is some truth, please share it. There's a little share button beneath the video, or you can private message it, whatever feels right to you. And I'll see you soon. You can find more of me at sarahmiller.me. And yeah, again, I mentioned briefly, I have my essential oil course, Essentially You. It started this week. I'm so excited about it. I will be sharing more information about it in the coming days, but I would absolutely love to have you as a part of it if you're interested. It's more about the emotional aromatherapy aspect of things. So yeah, I would love to have you. There's plenty of space. Again, send me a message, reach out, and we can set that up. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.